Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 4, verse number 47. We shall be continuing our reading from Mukam Karoti Vachalam, Pangam Langhayate Girim, Yat Kripa Tamham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. प्रातः स्नान करी पुरी ग्राम मध्य गेला सब लोक एकत्र करी कहते लागेला. After taking his morning bath, Mādhavendra Purī entered the village and assembled all the people. Then he spoke as follows. Verse 48. Gramer Ishwar Tumar Govardhan Dhari Kunje Ache Ke Chala Tanre Bahira Ye Kari. The proprietor of this village, Govardhan Dhari, is lying in the bushes. Let us go there and rescue him from that place. Verse 49. Atyanta Nivida Kunja Nari Praveshite Kutahari Kodali Lahadwar Karite. The bushes are very dense and we will not be able to enter the jungle. Therefore take choppers and spades to clear the way. Verse 50. Shuni Lok Tanra Sange Chalila Harishe Kunja Kati Dwar Kari Karila Praveshi. After hearing this, all the people accompanied Mādhavendra Purī with great pleasure. According to his directions, they cut down bushes, cleared a path, and entered the jungle. Verse 51. Thakur Dekhila Mati Trine Achadita Dekhi Sabaloka Haila Anande Vismita. When they saw the deity covered with dirt and grass, they were all struck with wonder and pleasure. Verse 52. Avarana Dura Kari Karila Vidite Maha Bhari Thakur Keha Nare Chalaite. After they had cleansed the body of the deity, some of them said, the deity is very heavy, no single person can move him. Verse 53. Maha Balisht Lok Ekatra Karina Parvat Upari Gela Puri Thakur Lena. Since the deity was very heavy, some of the stronger men assembled to carry him to the top of the hill. Mādhavendra Purī also went there. Verse 54. Patharera Simhasane Thakur Vasaila Bada Ek Pathara Prishthe Avalamb Dila. A big stone was made into a throne and the deity was installed upon it. Another big stone was placed behind the deity for support. Verse 55. Gramer Brahman Sab Nav Ghata Lena Govind Kundera Jala Anila Chanina. All the Brahman priests of the village gathered together with 9 water pots, and water from Govinda Kund lake was brought there and filtered. Verse 56. Nava Shata Khat Jala Kaila Upanita Nana Vadya Bheri Baje Stri Gana Gaya Geet. After the deity was when this deity was being installed, 900 pots of water were brought from the Govinda Kund. There were musical sounds of bugles and drums and the singing of the women. Verse 57. Keha Gaya Keha Nache Mahotsav Haila Dadhi Dugdha Grit Aila Grame Yata Chila. During the festival at the installation ceremony, some people sang and some danced. All the milk, yogurt and clarified butter in the village was brought to the festival. Verse 58. Bhog Samagri Aila Sandeshadi Yata Nana Upahar Taha Kahite Pariketa. Various foods and sweetmeats as well as other kinds of presentations were brought there. I'm unable to describe all these. Verse 59. Tulasi Adi Pushpa Vastra Aila Aneka Apne Madhav Puri Kaila Abhishek. The villagers brought a large quantity of tulsi leaves, flowers and various kinds of garments. Then Sri Mādhavendra Purī personally began the Abhishek, that is the bathing ceremony. Purport. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas 6th Vilas verse 30, it is stated that deity should be bathed in water mixed with yogurt and milk, accompanied by the sounds of conch shells, bells and other instruments, and the chanting of the mantra Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha, as well as the chanting of the Brahma Samhita verses beginning Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu Kalpa Vriksha Laksha Vriteshu Surabhir Abhipalayantam. Verse 60 Amangal Dhura Karaila Snan Bahu Taila Diya Kaila Shri Anga Chikkana. After all those inauspicious things were driven away by the chanting of the mantra, the deity's bathing ceremony started. First, the deity was massaged with a large quantity of oil so that his body became very glossy. Verse 61 Panchagavya Panchamrite Snana Karana Mahasnana Karaila Shata Ghata Dina. After the first bathing, further bathings were conducted with Panchagavya and then with Panchamrita. Then this Mahasnan was performed with ghee and water, which had been brought in 100 pots. Purport: the ingredients of Panchagavya are milk, yogurt, ghee, cow urine and cow dung. All these items come from cow, therefore we can imagine how important the cow is, since its urine and stool are required for bathing the deity. The Panchamrit consists of 5 kinds of nectar, yogurt, milk, ghee, honey and sugar. The major portion of this preparation also comes from the cow. To make it more palatable, sugar and honey are added. Verse 62 Punaha Taila Diya Kaila Shri Anga Chikkana Shankha Gandhodake Kaila Snana Samadhana. After the Mahasnan was finished, the deity was again massaged with scented oils and his body made glossy. Then the last bathing ceremony was performed with scented water kept within a conchal. Purport: in this commentary on this occasion, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes from the Hari Bhakti Vilas: barley water, wheat powder, vermilion powder, urad dal powder and another powder preparation called Avata made by mixing banana powder and ground rice are applied to the deity's body with a brush made from the hair at the end of the cow's tail. This produces a nice finish. The oil smeared all over the body of the deity should be scented. To perform the Mahasnan, at least 2.5 manas, about 24 gallons of water are needed to pour over the body of the deity. Verse 63 Shri Anga Marjana Kari Vastra Paraila Chandan Tulasi Pushpa Mala Ange Dila. After the body of the deity was cleansed, he was dressed very nicely with new garments. Then sandalwood pulp, tulasi garlands and the fragrant flower garlands were placed upon the body of the deity. Verse 64 Dhup Deep Kari Nana Bhoga Lagaila Dadhi Dugdha Sandeshadi Yatakichu Aila. After the bathing ceremony was finished, incense and lamps were burnt and all kinds of food offered before the deity. These included yogurt, milk and as many sweetmeats as were received. Verse 65 Suvasita Jale Navapatre Samarpila Achamana Diya Se Tambula Nivedila. The deity was first offered many varieties of food, then scented drinking water in new pots, and then water for washing the mouth. Finally, pan mixed with a variety of spices was offered. Verse 66 Aratrika Kari Kaila Bahut Stavana Dandavat Kari Kaila Atma Samarpan. After the last offering of tambula and pan, Bhoga Artika was performed. Finally, everyone offered various prayers and then obeisances, falling flat before the deity in full surrender. Verse 67 Gramera Yateka Tandula Dali Godhuma Churana Sakala Aniya Dila Parvat Haila Purna. As soon as the people of the village had understood that the deity was going to be installed, they had brought their entire stocks of rice, dal and wheat flour. They brought such large quantities that the entire surface of the top of the hill was filled. Verse 68 Kumbhakar Ghare Chila Ye Mrid Bhajan Sab Anaila Prate Chadila Randhana. When the villagers brought their stock of rice, dal and flour, The potters of the village brought all kinds of cooking pots, and in the morning and the cooking began. Verse 69. Dasha vipra anna randhi kare ek stupa, jana pancha randhe vyanjanadi nana supa. 10 Brahmins cooked the food grains, and 5 Brahmins cooked both dry and liquid vegetables. Vanya shaka phala mule vividha vyanjana kah bada badi kadi kare vipragana. The vegetable preparations were made from various kinds of spinach, roots and fruits collected from the forest, and someone made bada and badi by mashing the dal. In this way, the Brahmins prepared all kinds of foods. Verse 71. Jana pancha saat ruti kare rashi rashi, अन्य व्यंजन सब रहे घृते भासी. 5 to 7 men prepared a huge quantity of chapatis, which were completely covered with ghee, clarified butter, and were all the vegetables, rice and dal. Verse 72. Navavastra pati tahe palashera pat, randhi randhi tar upar rashi kaila bhat. All the cooking rice was stacked on the palash leaves, which were on new cloths spread over the ground. 73. Tar pashe ruti rasira parvat haila soup adi vyanjana bhanda chodike dharila. Around the stack of cooked rice were stacks of chapatis, and all the vegetables and liquid vegetable preparations were placed in different pots and put around them. Verse 74. Tar pashe dadhi dugdha matha shikarini payas mathani sar pashe dhari ani. Pots of yogurt, milk, buttermilk, and shikarini, sweet rice, cream, and solid cream were placed alongside the vegetables. Purport in this kind of ceremony, which is called annakut, cooked rice is stacked like a mountain for prasadam distribution. Verse 75. Hena mate annakuta karila sajana Purī gosani gopalere kaila samarpan. In this way, the annakut ceremony was performed, and Mādhavendra Purī Goswami personally offered everything to Gopal. Verse 76. Anek ghata bhari dila suvasita jala bahu diner Kshudhaya Gopal Kaila Sakala. Many water pots were filled with scented water for drinking, and Lord Sri Gopal, who had been hungry for many days, ate everything offered to him. Verse 77. Yadyapi Gopala Sabha Anna Vyanjan Kaila Tandra Hasta Sparshe Punaha Temani Haila. Although Sri Gopal ate everything offered, still by the touch of his transcendental hand, everything remained as before. But purport, the atheist cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing in the form of deity, can eat all the food offered by his devotees. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.26, Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktaya prayachati tad aham bhaktya upaharitam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. The word Lord is Purna, complete, and therefore he eats everything offered by his devotees. However, by the touch of his transcendental hand, all the food remains exactly as before. It is the quantity that is changed. Before the food was offered, it was something else, but after it is offered, the food acquires a transcendental quality. Because the Lord is Purna, he remains the same even after eating. Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. The food offered to Krishna is qualitatively as good as Krishna, just as Krishna is Avyaya, which is indestructible. The food eaten by Krishna, being identical with him, remains as before. So the quantity remains the same, but because of the transcendental touch, the quality becomes transcendental. The bhoga we offer becomes suddenly prasad, mahaprasad. Apart from this, Krishna can eat the food with any of any one of his transcendental senses. He can eat by seeing the food or by touching it. Nor should one think that it is necessary for Krishna to eat. He does not become hungry like an ordinary human being. Nonetheless, he presents himself as being hungry, and as such, he can eat everything and anything, regardless of quantity. The philosophy underlying Krishna's eating is understandable by our transcendental senses. When our senses are purified by constantly being engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, we can understand Krishna's activities, names, forms, qualities, pastimes, and entourage. Adha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriya sevan mukhehi jivadav swayam eva sfurti adaha. No one can understand Krishna by the blunt material senses, but he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with them for their transcendental loving service unto him. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. The devotees understand Krishna through revelation. It is not possible for a mundane scholar to understand Krishna and his pastimes through the research work on the non-devotional platform. Verse 78. Iha anubhav kaila Madhav Gosani Tandra Thani Gopaler Lukan Kichunai. How Gopal ate everything while the food remained the same was transcendently perceived by Mādhavendra Purī Goswami. Nothing remains a secret to the devotees of the Lord. Verse 79. Ekadinera udyoge aiche mahotsav kaila Gopala prabhave haya anya na janila. The wonderful festival and installation of Shri Gopalji was arranged in one day. Certainly all this was accomplished by the potency of Gopal. No one but a devotee can understand this. Purport: the Krishna consciousness movement has spread all over the world within a very short time, within 5 years, and this purport was written. And mundane people are very much astonished at this. However, by the grace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we understand that everything is possible by the grace of Krishna. Why does Krishna have to take 5 years and 5 days? He can spread his name and fame all over the world like wildfire. Those who have faith in and devotion to Krishna can understand that these things happen so wonderfully by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are simply the instruments in the fierce battle of Kurukshetra. Arjun was victorious within 18 days simply because Krishna's grace was on his side. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjun, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. This is the very last verse of the Bhagavad Gita from chapter 18. This is verse number 78. If the preachers in our Krishna consciousness movement are sincere devotees of Krishna, Krishna will always be with them because he is very kind and favorable to all his devotees, just as Arjuna and Krishna was victorious in the battle of Kurukshetra. This Krishna consciousness movement will surely emerge victorious if we but remain sincere devotees of the Lord and serve the Lord according to the advice of the predecessors, the 6 Goswamis and other devotees of the Lord. As Narottam Das Thakur has stated, Tandera Charan Sevi Bhakta Sana Sane Vas Janme Janme Haya E Abhilash. The Krishna consciousness devotees must always desire to remain in the society of devotees. Bhakta Sanevas, they cannot go outside Krishna consciousness society or movement. Within the society, we must try to serve the predecessors by preaching Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult and spreading his name and fame all over the world. If we attempt this seriously within the society, it will be successfully done. There is no question of estimating how this will happen in the mundane sense, but without a doubt, it happens by the grace of Krishna. Verse 80. Achaman diya dila vidak sanchaya arati karila loke kare jai jai. Mādhavendra Purī offered water to Gopal for washing his mouth, and he gave him betel nuts to chew. Then while arati was performed, all people chanted Jai Jai, all glories to Gopal. Verse 81. Shaya Karaila Nutan Khat Anan Nava Vastra Ani Tar Upare Patiya. Arranging for the Lord's rest, Shri Mādhavendra Purī brought a new cot, and over this he spread a new bedspread and thus made the bed ready. Verse 82. Trina Tati Diya Chari Dik Avril Uparete Ek Tati Diya Achadila. A temporary temple was constructed by covering the bed all around with straw mattresses. Thus there was a bed and straw mattress to cover it. Verse 83, Purī Gosani Agya Dila Sakala Brahmane Abal Vridha Gramera Lok Karaha Bhojanya. After the Lord was laid down to rest in the bed, Mādhavendra Purī gathered all the Brahmins who had prepared the prasadam and said to them, now feed everyone sumptuously from the children on up to the aged. Verse 84, Sabhe vasi krame krame bhojan karaila brahman brahmani gane age khayo yaila. All the people gathered, they sat down to honor the prasadam, and by they took food. All the Brahmins and their wives were fed first. Purport: according to the Varnashram system, the Brahmins are always honored first. Thus at the festival, the Brahmins and their wives were first offered the remnants of food, and then the other Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. This has always been the system, and it is still prevalent in India. Even though the caste Brahmins are not qualified, the system is still current due to the Varnashram institutional rules and regulations. Verse 85, Anya Gramera Loka Yata Dekhite Aila Gopal Dekhiya Sab Prasad Khaila. Those who took prasadam included not only the people of Govardhan village, but also those who came from other villages. They also saw the deity of Gopal and were offered prasadam to eat. So we'll continue our reading from verse 86 of chapter 4 of Madhya Lila next time. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.